Hey, good morning, Alpha Traders. Happy Monday. It's April 10th, about 7:30 a.m. I wanted to get to the market real quick because before the US session opens up this morning, a couple of important points to discuss. So first things first, I want to talk about this newsletter again, Decentral Park by Lewis Harlan, one of my favorite newsletters that I read pretty much every week. This comes out every week, and I like to just see, exactly what's going on in the market, what the thoughts are going around of people looking at equities and macro and comparables to crypto and the internals of crypto. So this is a good newsletter that highlights all of that. So make sure y'all check it out. The coming week, I think, has some important events such as the Shanghai upgrade for Ethereum. We also have the CPI data coming out this coming week. And so, lots of important stuff, right? And how does that pertain to the market? Well, first things first, again, we have BTC trading, back up into the upper sort of quartile or upper third of the range. And this is the broader range right here that we've seen. So trading up here, again, relatively good sign, right? We talked about over the weekend, I told y'all that I'm not going to be trading, at all the long weekend. And I'm glad I didn't. If y'all remember Friday, I posted this and I said that, hey, first of all, US equity markets are closed. It's a long weekend. I'm definitely not going to be trading. And the first thing that you want to look out for is, first of all, this is really the area that we were trapped in, 27.9. Most of the weekend, we pretty much chopped around that area. And then I told you all levels to watch out for, and, a possibility that you're going to get, chop up and down back up to 28.2 or 28.5, possibly. And that's kind of exactly what happened right as yesterday opened, which is we got squeezed all the way up to 28.5, which once again is, pretty much a consistent sort of range high rejection right there, right? Over and over and over, we keep getting rejected right at this area. Now, again, this time around, maybe different. Maybe we don't get rejected here, and maybe we finally sort of smash through this area and trade higher. It's possible. Or it's possible that maybe we're creating a series of lower highs right at 28.5. And maybe this is our last rejection at 28.5. And as soon as we start trading under 28.2, that could be a short down to, towards taking out these stops, all the way down to 27.4, which is kind of like the mid-range between this high and this low. It's like pretty close to a mid-range, let's just say. Okay. So that is kind of how you want to look at the market. Okay. Right now is, it's still a whole lot of chop. I could, sort of see the argument to be made that, hey, it looks like we're tightening up consolidation here, and we're sitting in the upper sort of quartile of the range, and so from here the higher chances are that we're going to break out. And while I do agree with that, again, I actually even took a long kind of off that yesterday, right? I was thinking like, okay, well, things look good. I'm going to take a long at 28.3, which is where we reclaim this trend line. If I show you guys that trend line real quick, it's this one right here, this yellow one. We had just reclaimed that trend line yesterday. And I said, in the following update, I'd move my stops to break even, because I got in at 28.3, price spiked to 28.5, and I was like, okay, cool. This trade is working out so far. Again, the one thing that I've been abundantly clear about in the market is that I believe the market is still very range bound. There's a whole lot of chop going on around here, but I'm not one to think that the breakouts or breakdowns are going to be easy, right? So I'm very, very quick to move my stops, to take profit, to basically be very active in the current area of the market, because I don't trust it. I don't trust it for a breakout, and I don't trust it for a breakdown. I think it's just going to chop people to death. And luckily, right, as I move my stop from down here at 27.8 up to my break-even stop, which is basically where I got into the trade, 28.3, I got stopped out, right? Price came back. And I told y'all that you do not want price to come back because we got in right around here as the price was just ripping up. Why would you want this area, which got retested again? See this yellow trend line that goes all the way up, right? It actually dates back all the way to January back here. Sorry, not January, mid-March right here, right? Why would you want price, if it's going to truly break out, why should it come back to this area? It really shouldn't, right? But the price did. It went like this, took it out. Now, maybe we're heading down further. Maybe we're rejecting the trend line. Maybe we're going to break down further, right? But the point is that recognizing when momentum steps into the market, right, you want it to continue. The movements back as a retrace, as pullbacks, should be very, very shallow because it needs to show you that the breakout is real, shorts are being squeezed, and longs are not getting an easy chance to get in. Longs should basically be forced to chase price higher, not this kind of, up and down, whole lot of chop, right? And so in that case, point is, we got stopped out of that trade, break even. Similar trade like that, ETH also kind of, a breakout trade that I was trying to hope that we would squeeze, which was once we had reclaimed this SR level right here, I was like, okay, well, price has reclaimed that level, right? Sorry, actually it was back here. And I got into the long right around here, 1862.5, 1863. And it looked good, price was breaking up. But again, I had my stop down here and I moved my stop just below this low. I said, hey, there's no reason if price is moving up like this right here, there's no reason for us to come back towards this low. And guess what? Last night we did, stopped out, and now we're just chopping around that same SR 1855 level. Again, that 1855 level is important because it was this previous high. This is all that resistance cluster that we are barely able to hold on to. And so this can actually be seen as your excess failed breakout, deviation, whatever you want to call it, because we're collapsing back down into the range. This is the range high, and this is the range low. Midpoint is somewhere around 1775 to 1800. So the next obvious point is down here, 1800 to 1775, where ETH might break down towards. Okay, so keep an eye on that as the next potential resolution for price. All right. Other than that, again, dominance still sort of sitting at the highs, not really looking great, but it looks like it wants to kind of stay near the highs, maybe even have one more squeeze higher. But again, dominance squeezing higher when price is breaking down versus price breaking up, and dominance squeezing higher are two different things. And I've highlighted this again multiple times in the education section right there. This is what dominance means with price increasing for alts. Make sure you check this out in the education section in the pinned messages right here. And you will see the importance of that even till date of how that resolves for BTC and how that resolves for alts specifically. So in regards to alts, there's just two things that I want to cover, and I'm going to make it brief. First, if you remember 8 months ago, I had done a brief video on GNS, which is Gains Network, before it sort of became a bigger thing. And the reason I did that is because I love looking at projects that are starting to gain traction, but through like the lens of metrics and a potential product market fit, right? So the point is that when I sort of did my research in Gains Network, it was actually one of the more underrated projects. And again, 8 months ago, right? So if I go to GNS, okay, here. All right, I'm gonna show you all, 8 months ago, okay, where that was. We're in April, I think June is around that time where I had identified the project, if I'm not mistaken, May or June sometime. And so, price back then was sitting around like 0.73. Now it's obviously almost 10x that in April here, which is $6.75. So all in all, it was a pretty substantial sort of move that prices had since then. And that is sort of the good thing of looking at, these projects and identifying what could be a potential winner. Now, again, I don't pick all winners and I don't think anyone can. But when you do your research and you start paying attention to a project, right? By the way, I didn't even buy this thing, right? I had just simply pointed it out to the community. And actually, two of our members literally just reminded me, last week that, hey, that Gains Network video that you did, 8 or 9 months back, that did really well. And I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that. Right. So that got me thinking of like, okay, well, what else am I seeing in the market right now? And so I was telling some members about, hey, have y'all heard of open leverage? Something similar to Gains Network, but a little bit different. Like I'm still looking into it. And again, I have no position in it, right? I'm just looking and starting to look in it. I even posted on my Twitter and I was asking people, I was like, hey, has anyone actually used or started to look into open leverage? Where is it? I just posted about it a couple of days back right here, right? So a whole bunch of people started commenting and talking about, what it is, what they do, et cetera, et cetera. So as I do my fundamental research right now, I expect you guys to also do the same research. Never take my word for anything. I will never sort of, buy and shill, and I do not ever give financial advice, right? All my stuff is just my knowledge that I'm sharing with you. So open leverage, as I start to open up my window of research into it, is actually a unique platform that is slowly being built out, right? Again, talks about with permissionless lending and borrowing and margin trading, open leverage enables borrow any asset in long or short positions on any pair on decentralized exchanges. Kind of a unique concept, right? So point is, there could be many like this. There could be, fewer like this that are doing better. It's your job to find out if open leverage has an edge. So far, it seems like it's a good product. Okay. The liquidity and, what's it called? The liquidity and the amount of people and the total value locked and all that is not great, I will say. So it kind of, puts a damper on how big of a position you could put on in the market. So I was kind of testing it out yesterday. I was like, well, shit. I mean, you got to be trading with like, only a few $1,000, or else if you start trading with like anything more than 20, 50K or something, you're going to probably, have big slippages, right? So I don't really like that about open leverage, but again, that could change. In several weeks or several months, you can have more liquidity because more people join. And the point is that in open leverage, when you do trade, you actually get the OLE tokens, this OLE token associated with it, as a like a reward, if you will, for trading on the network. Again, still in my research phases, but I just want to point that out. Okay. Second project I'm kind of looking into still is EigenLayer. Obviously, like still very early stages of me looking at exactly why this is good, why do we need it, et cetera, et cetera. Again, this is sort of your EVM Ethereum based protocol that's being built out. Still have to figure out like what the use case of EigenLayer is, because now there's like so many things associated with Ethereum, whether it's L2s or ZKs or what have you, like Arbitrum and Optimism and Matic and all the ZK protocols that are coming about, Mina, Dusk, etc., LRC, right? So there's all these different things that are out there that I don't know which is going to be the winner, and EigenLayer is just another one that I'm looking into. All right, so make sure y'all do research in it too. Okay. Aside from that, again, SR levels are pretty clear. I still think the market is in a range. I still don't think that it's worth sort of hoping to get position into a breakout or a breakdown. Obviously, like I said, I think market clearly looks like, again, it's consolidating tighter and tighter near the highs. And that could be, an argument for, hey, we're sitting, let me sort of show you on a different time frame and a different chart, right? So let's go over here and let's go to the 12-hour, right? So if I do this and I do this, right? What this can be seen as is, let's do that rather. This is your SR level, right? Price right now is consolidating right under this area where we had previously broken down from. So we've basically covered pretty much all this selling that's happened so far from here, November, October bottom up till now, right? So now generally when that happens, price as it consolidates and grinds higher, it could give you, another squeeze right into this high, which is around like 31.5 up to 32K or so, right at the top of this yellow box. So that's another, scenario that you want to be paying attention to if the squeeze does happen. But again, I think that the market is just this right now. And so hoping for a breakout is a little bit tougher to hope and pray for, rather than just, saying that, all right, well, this is a range and whatever happens, I'm just going to trade any one or all these levels. That's it. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of all I really have. I mean, there's obviously a lot going on. I've talked about Blur before. Blur, I still think that, it's chopping about. I still, right now, as the only open spot position, Blur is like the only one. I think it'll be fine. I also think that the NFT market is going to wake up maybe, in several months or even next year. I don't really care. It's a spot position and I can hold it pretty much perpetually forever, right? So yeah. Obviously, you guys know very well, like I'm sort of getting more and more involved in the AI side of things, and specifically, trying to see if there's a benefit to be gained in the AI/crypto dynamic. And so, we focused on coins before, AI related coins like GRT, Fetch, which, actually did almost a more than 10x here from November up to February. PHB, which is another, new AI related coin. So yeah, AI is still, sort of the hot topic. Everything else, I'm just kind of waiting on the market to sort of give me better signs. I'm not really interested or that excited about stepping into a altcoin position right now, other than, INJ, which I've traded, I would say, pretty well back and forth and back and forth. I think INJ is probably worth trading as like, an up and down movement, level to level. Other than that, maybe just, yeah, like be cautious about alts in general, because you can kind of see that if we look at the total market cap of crypto, kind of looking extended, I could see, similar to BTC, what I told y'all earlier is, hey, it's possible that if BTC squeezes up, we're going to go all the way up to this high up here, but then maybe it's possible that crypto total market cap also goes to about 1.35 trillion. So these are things that I'm kind of paying attention to. Okay. So anyway, all in all, that's pretty much all I have, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Y'all take care, and we will catch up real soon. Cheers.